this is a message for the NFL. If you're not the NFL, keep on scrolling. Mainly Roger. So, I put up with a lot from the NFL. I put up with the whole kneeling. You lost me there for a little bit. You lost me on the whole BLM thing with everyone knelt for, Floyd in the back of the infield, all that stuff. You lost me. 5 teams have lost me. I haven't watched one Detroit Lions game all year with not honoring Charlie Kirk. Can we not just get some good halftime show? I mean, Kenny Chesney sells out Gillette Stadium in Boston. Why? I mean, the biggest concert ever just happened in Michigan, Riley, whatever, for country at the University of Michigan over the weekend. Can we not just get a country halftime show? Bad Bunny? I mean, it's not that I don't like Rihanna, but she wore like this puffy thing. Like I was afraid the whole time she was going to fall. I mean, I had more anxiety over her falling off the stage. Can we just not get a country person, please? Do we have to go so political to where we can't even get a good halftime show?
So this is the reaction from MAGA.
All right, so this guy, Bad Bunny, is going to be the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And basically the key is this guy hates America. He talked about how he wants to cancel or did cancel some of his concert tour dates because he's worried that ICE was going to pick up his fans outside of the venue. What's up with that? Well, why would that guy be performing at America's game, the Super Bowl? Basically, Jay-Z, the hip-hop artist from Brooklyn, was hired to run the halftime show for the NFL. And so since he hates America and he thinks America's racist, even though he's made millions of dollars off being an entertainer here, he's going to basically try to bring a guy like this, who barely even speaks English, to perform at the halftime show. So the key is Bad Bunny, bad news, because he hates America. He's probably going to do a terrible halftime show. Nobody wants to see hip-hop live like that. It's a studio genre. So do something else during the halftime show.
When Bad Bunny was announced as the Super Bowl halftime show performer.
Hey, did you guys hear Bad Bunny is doing the NFL halftime show? Can't wait to see ICE arrest him on stage live at the halftime show. It's gonna be the best halftime show ever. They're gonna show Bad Bunny who the real Bad Bunny is. Didn't he just say he wasn't gonna perform because ICE was going to detain him or arrest him? Well, now it looks like the NFL set it up so we all get to watch it during the halftime show. This is gonna be literally the best halftime show the NFL put on. Bad Bunny, expect to get detained during the halftime show. Let's go, Trump.
Some showed why the man himself stated that he loves the poorly educated.
Like, come on. Nobody over the age of 18 cares or listens to Bad Bunny. Actually, truly sickening that the NFL is okay with this. They're okay with giving us this slop.
Man, shut your up. To sit here and say that nobody over the age of 18 listens to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny has 77 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And I want people to understand something, that the Super Bowl is a global stage. Okay, it is a global stage. It's not just for Americans. It's a staple across the globe. And it's funny because people don't understand the global market. Okay, people are so American that they don't understand that there are other countries, that there are other music markets that people invest in, that get you to the accolades that Bad Bunny has been to. Right? He's a global staple.
While others claim Bad Bunny has no star appeal, which is an absurd statement to make.
Bad Bunny, really? The NFL never ceases to amaze me, and what a slap in the face to Americans.
Wow, the MAGA snowflakes are having MAGA meltdowns all over the internet about this.
A man who is anti-American, anti-Trump, and anti-ICE.
Sounds like a smart man.
To headline their Super Bowl show. This isn't a bold, inclusive moment. This is a political grenade hand-tossed into the living room of every single American family who decides to watch it.
This is how clueless y'all are. You realize the Super Bowl is aired in over 100 countries worldwide. So millions of families will be watching it and will be enjoying it. while y'all are crying about it.
Well, let's clear up a few things. This is his only U.S. performance. Banned all other tour stops in the United States because he feared ICE, but he was born in Puerto Rico.
You realize he did that not for himself, right? He was worried about his fans going to his concerts and being harassed by ICE. He turned down hundreds of millions of dollars because of that. Again, he sounds like a great guy.
None of what she says is true, of course. Dude fact-checking her, meanwhile, spot on.
You know, it must really suck to just literally be, like, have a political party just be your identity and have them think for you. Like, what's that like to have someone else think for you? I don't understand that. Like, MAGA's all off because Bad Bunny's performing halftime because he goes against MAGA views. Guess what? The country isn't all MAGA. Guess what? The country isn't all liberals or Democrats, whatever you want to call it. Me? You know how I vote? You know what political party I am? Me. I don't live my life through one political party because I have a life. I think for myself. I take my experiences from what I see and use it as my political party. I don't have someone else think for me. They're going to really miss out on some great music.
Some decent points here, along with some critiques, but overall the message remains clear, and it is actually this: why are they so mad all the time?
Okay, it makes sense. They're just trying to shove woke ideology down America's throat in the platform of the Super Bowl. It makes sense. It's not because of who Bad Bunny is. It's because they want us woke, and that's really what it is, courtesy of Jay-Z and Obama.
Yeah, I mean, who are we going to have next year? P. Diddy? I look forward to Sean Diddy Combs in his comeback tour. I mean, that's Jay-Z's other best friend. So you tell me, Whit, whether this is an active middle finger to all of MAGA and the right wing by putting this guy who likes to dress in women's dresses and who hates the United States so much he won't come here because he's worried about ICE raiding his concert as our Super Bowl entertainment.
I think it's more than a middle finger just to MAGA and conservatives in this country. I think it's a middle finger to what America is all about. You know, I don't watch football myself, but, you know, I remember watching the Super Bowl last year and seeing Kendrick Lamar perform. And I remember thinking if my grandparents were still alive, like, what would they think about watching this? Like, can't you put people on who actually, like, represent true American values?
Still, the right-wing media sphere continues spinning with dopes like these controlling their viewers' minds. Now, some would enter the chat after this firestorm. All right, now look, none of us love Gavin Newsom. All right, but this is a ridiculous tweet from his press office. It reads, "I'm boycotting the Super Bowl because Bad Bunny dressed in drag." And that tweet is accompanied by a photo of the Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance, aka James Donald Bowman, dressed in, well, drag. The photo is from his time at Yale in 2012. Speaking of university elites, MAGA commentator Benny Johnson also weighed in, critiquing the selection with the following bullet points: massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist. That is not true. No songs in English. He closed with, "The NFL is self-destructing year after year." Johnson, a man who protects alleged pedos, takes money according to reporting from Russia to do propaganda, and even was fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarizing, might just be ashamed of who he really is.
Benny Johnson, who is a MAGA influencer and really a MAGA mouthpiece, is a propagandist. Someone has actually tweeted that they have had a male-on-male encounter with Benny Johnson. I'm going to bring you those. It's been alleged that Benny Johnson, who likes to parade around his children like props, his little children as props. Here it is. Yep. Look at me. I'm so straight. I've got kids. I'm just a dad. It turns out that Benny Johnson is either gay or bi. And I am sick of the MAGA hypocrisy because he's all Christ is king. And he says also other things like, "Young men, if you want to be an immovable mountain, strong alpha male, I beg you to find a woman."
Young men, we're just going to cut right to it. If you want to be an immovable mountain in your life, if you wish to be a strong alpha, I beg you, find a woman.
It sounds like he's trying to convince himself. Now, we have some posts here from Milo, who has alleged this sounds like someone we know. Which happy-go-lucky podcast host gets trashed and has sex with young boys in the latter's hotel rooms at Turning Point conferences, leaving his wife weeping in the arms of other men downstairs amid the 8-pack leaflets and trestle tables? ? Milo went on to say his initials are BJ, Benny Johnson, and that's how 1,020-year-old male Turning Point volunteers will remember him as BJ.
There were plenty others here, but the facts remain. In popularity, Bad Bunny is a no-brainer for the National Football League, wrote Ari Melber. His catalog is a hit with US and global audiences. He's one of the highest chart-topping artists, alongside the likes of Taylor Swift. In 2023, he even beat her with the most played album on Spotify worldwide. He boasts over 100 billion streams overall. In reach, that's a Beatles level feat, Melber would add. You can see the pattern here. MAGA won the election, but in the areas where they may not be winning, like in the free market, pop culture space, etc., we see time and time again the intense outrage towards those they disagree with. Still, this doesn't stop the likes of, let's say, former ESPNer Sage Steele from completely whining on social media. Do a little homework and it's obvious that Bad Bunny is so much worse than most realize. Can you say demonic? No, I could say that you're a idiot. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.
I don't feel like we've been given really any choice in this matter. I think if you had a referendum tomorrow, Tony Blair would have no choice but to call off.
Damien Albarn, headman of Gorillaz and Blur, has always been outwardly political.
The agreement lays out a framework for the withdrawal of American forces in Iraq, a withdrawal that is possible because of the success of the surge.
جنوده وجنود الولايات المتحدة والمدنيين فإننا نقترب كثيرا من هذه النهاية.
شكرا جزيلا.
His beef with George Bush was the focal point of hit song Dirty Harry. Not only would he protest in person, he wrote lyrics that represent the struggles of the time.
It cannot be denied that the Conservatives have less empathy than maybe they should have for the arts. No, it doesn't seem to be as important. Look what's happening in schools. Look at the way our art classes, music classes are being sidelined for more digital based education. It's so important to keep the arts vibrant, you know.
He absolutely despises that guy as well.
Oh, look who we have. Byron said that, please. Superstar of the future. He's already a superstar, but he's a superstar of the future. Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. He's great. He's great. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Republican President of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
time now, Dave.
Hey?
We've pushed for time.
Okay.
Albarn even draws cartoons of the man.
It's such a simple concept, right? National sovereignty. What is there really to debate? Why are we referring to this as xenophobia or racism or sexism or whatever, isms that the left likes to come up with? And here's what's interesting. When I decided to name my movement Blexit, there were actually other undertones that I found to be very synonymous with what you were doing over with the Brexit Party. Because what I thought the Black community was suffering from first and foremost was a lack of self-confidence, right? Thinking that you needed the government, you needed more government in order to make things work. And I said to myself, what's happened to our community, right? Why can't we get up on our own 2 feet? Why can't we be independent? Why are we asking for more government? Look at our communities. Our communities aren't doing well. Why are we pretending that we're happy under the structure? And
He also called out the bad faith actors that ran and supported Brexit, like Candace Owens and Nigel Farage.
Brexit's been a disaster for younger musicians because in the old days, and when I mean the old days, I mean pre-Brexit, you could be a young band and you could kind of go over to Europe and play bottom of the bill in festivals and sort of camp, and you wouldn't be paid hardly anything, but your experience would be life-changing. Whether you went on in the future to do bigger and better things, it doesn't matter. That's kind of sort of like a solid foundation for the rest of your life. And that kind of creativity has been very much curtailed for people on this island because it's expensive now to go over there. It's not straightforward. You have to pay, for visas and all that stuff that weren't necessary. It's a travesty. Brexit was a travesty, and people are waking up to that now, thank goodness, but it was a disaster.
And the reason he knows all this is rather simple. He is politically sound and involved. Take his music, for example. Most recently, Gorillaz released the track The Happy Dictator, a song inspired by a recent trip to Turkmenistan, where ruling dictator Serdar Berdi Muhammadov would tamper with news stories to keep his citizens appeased. Albarn even told the outlet NME, it touches that sweet spot between making something that's fun and also got some social political clout to it. Humans, Gorillaz' fifth studio album, was a direct response to the first election win of Donald Trump. Albarn told Q-Mag he asked everyone who worked on the album to think about Trump's inauguration as they prepared to record. The three tenets for this record were pain, joy, urgency, he stated. Jamie Hewlett, comic book artist and co-creator of Gorillaz, branched off with his own analysis. Quote, "It's not a statement about Trump, but rather the album reflects on the world in which he could get elected." I side with both, actually, though it is notable the beginning of Hallelujah Money is designed to be interpreted as Trump Tower. It is notable the beginning of Hallelujah Money is designed to be interpreted as Trump Tower. Demon Days, the group's second album, was released in May 2005 and presented the disillusionment of the ongoing Iraq War and George W. Bush's disastrous presidency as an end-of-days concept album complete with Dawn of the Dead samples. Plastic Beach, their third studio album, was described by Albarn to Wired magazine as such, quote, "If you meditate on plastic or the sea, I think all the songs kind of fit into that in one way or another. And then when we kind of developed it and situated the new Gorillaz base at Point Nemo, the most remote island on Earth, and alluded to the fact that the plastic detritus in the Pacific Ocean had all collected. It's gentle. It has environmental thoughts scattered and peppered around every bit of this record, but at the end of the day, it's not just that. It's in a way more colorful than that." So why is he so political? Well, to understand the man, we must understand his family's history. Albarn's father, Keith, was an integral player in London's 1960s counterculture, presenting the BBC's late-night lineup program and managing the jazz rock band Soft Machine. His mother, Hazel, was a theatrical set designer who worked on the satirical play Mrs. Wilson's Diary before Keith Albarn took up a post as the head of North Essex College of Art. He and his family lived in Leytonstone, East London, where the Albarn children were given the archetypal liberal upbringing. I always thought my parents were absolutely dead right, he said later. I went against the grain in a weird way by continually following them. On his father's side, Albarn's roots lie with Lincolnshire Quakers. During the Second World War, his grandfather declared himself a conscientious objector and thus was imprisoned. And recently,
in one way or another, engaged with Palestine for a long time. I think it's about not denying the legitimacy of Palestine, not denying the historical presence of Palestinians, and recognizing the genocide that is taking place there.
How have you felt watching this go on?
Well, it's impossible to watch. It just feels so horrendously helpless, and we cannot deny the Palestinians their existence, which is what's going on at the moment. It's just wrong. Palestinians belong there.
I mean, artists...
And you can't just kick them out.
Yeah,
it's
but
not,
I mean, on this
it's
war...
not acceptable.
British artists have not been very vocal, have they? I mean...
But it's a very difficult thing to... I mean, even talking about it now, I feel emotional, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know, I want to be absolutely clear, because, I mean, ultimately, I come from a family of pacifists, and my inclination is towards the more pluralistic approach to things. But on this occasion, I recognise that in a way is problematic for the Palestinians, and I'm with the Palestinians.
As a huge fan of Gorillaz, it is not lost on me in the slightest that there are political messages in each and every song. From the feature with the great late MF Doom on November Has Come, to Kids with Guns talking about school shootings, to touching on George Bush and the atrocities of the Iraq War, which Albarn protested, to climate change, climate denial, the electorate just thinking everything is fine while our winters are completely disappearing and the seasons are getting warmer, wildfires breaking out of nowhere, forest fires breaking out of nowhere. And him also speaking on, which I did not feature, and I apologize for that, on the dangers of AI. He also performed at the Benefit for Palestine concert. As I'm seeing this and internally going from, well, I hear this song that I really like, I'm bopping my head and penguin dancing to Dirty Harry, and then growing up and realizing what he is meaning by all of this, it makes me that much bigger of a fan, and I am really glad that I got to see them at Coachella a few years ago, though I must say the crowd was mid. And that's not a knock on Coachella. A lot of people were waiting for a headliner, and Gorillaz was before them. But just as a fan who really appreciates Damien Albarn, like I really, really, really do. And seeing how he gave a quote at one point about Blur and how he felt like he couldn't express himself politically because some of his bandmates disagreed with him. And now to go to this is just beautiful, honestly, and I remain a fan forever and ever. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.